여러분 반갑습니다. I'm Kwon So-hwa and this is K-Culture Dive. Join us in taking a deep dive into the heart of Korean culture. From K-entertainment to AI news, K-culture on site. Plus, we have a talk on Korean heritage, meeting Korean performances with our expert. And with that, let's dive in. Joining us on today's show is Walter Lee. Walter, happy Friday.
Happy Friday. It's my favorite time of the day, Sola. So hello to everyone joining us on K-Culture Dive today. I'm Walter Lee, here to co-host alongside Sola and bring you, of course, the latest in K-entertainment stories.
Right. And before we, however, get our daily dose of K-enter news, today we're going to make a quick trip to Yongin, slightly south of Seoul in Gyeonggi-do province.
Oh, is that where our lovely Seong is waiting?
You guessed right, Walter. All right, so let's go over to her now. As summer temperatures climb and the humidity continues to rise across Korea, many people are searching for ways to beat the heat. But long before modern comforts, Koreans had their own creative ways to stay cool. Today on K-Culture On Site, our Yoon Se-young steps back in time at a traditional folk village to experience Korea's summer traditions firsthand. Let's go over to her now. Se-young!
Hi, Soa and Walter. I'm here at Korea Folk Village in Yongin. And today, I want to start with these questions. How did Koreans beat the summer heat long before air conditioners and electric fans? Those traditions are actually very much alive here at Korean Folk Village with seasonal festivals, hands-on activities, and classic Korean summer food. And this open-air village is helping the visitors to experience the Korean traditions by experiencing the Korean traditional houses, costumes, and seasonal cultures all at once. So as the gates open, the visitors are welcomed by lively parade, and the streets are filled with music and colorful performances as well. And one of the biggest attractions here is 파막패, which stands for 파전 and 막걸리 festival. So here, visitors can enjoy 파전, the Korean crispy savory pancake paired with Korean traditional rice wine. And this combination has long been associated with Korean traditions like sharing good food together and relaxing with friends and families and enjoying a slower pace of summer afternoon. And actually, we eat 파전 and 막걸리 on a rainy day, so it's a perfect day to enjoy 파막패 actually. And summer here in Korea isn't just about the food. The visitors can also take part in various activities like crafting the straw hats or making bamboo water guns or even brewing Korean wine, rice wine themselves, or making bingsu, Korea's beloved shaved ice dessert. So, and as the afternoon hits up, the kids are eager to join Sokuran, a bamboo water gun festival that fills the village with laughter and splashes. So what's making this place even more special is that the visitors here don't just watch the history, but they become part of it. So today, let me speak with one of the visitors here to hear about his own experience. Hi.
Hi.
So what brought you and your families to Korean Folk Village today?
So we have the timetable for 3 weeks to be in Korea, and this day we selected Suwon, the Korean pork wedge.
All right, I see. Well, what has been the most, your favorite summer activities or food here today?
Yeah, actually the favorite food is the pancake with meat, so we enjoyed today. It's really delicious.
All right, nice. I heard it's not your first time visiting Korea Folk Village, so would you recommend visiting this place to your friends in Germany or other visitors from overseas?
Of course. I guess it's my 5th time here, also in a Korean village, so I can recommend to everybody to visit here Suwon Korean village.
All right, thank you so much for joining us today, and have fun with your family. Thank you so much. Okay, so here you can also enjoy a lot of different ways to enjoy summer here at Korea Folk Village. One of it is trying something a little more thrilling. As afternoon goes on, part of the village transforms into haunted attractions featuring ghostly characters and spine-chilling stories based on Korea's traditional folklore. And you guys, trust me, I've experienced it myself just an hour ago, and I screamed like 100 times. So if you are a big fan of scary movie, I highly recommend you to check it out if you're brave enough. So from pajeon and makgeolli to different activities, hands-on activities, and testing how brave you are in a haunted house, this place is where you can enjoy and experience Korea's summertime traditions perfectly. So this is where traditions are not just being preserved, but also celebrated every day by many people. Reporting live from Korea Village in Yongin, I'm Yoon Se-young, and back to you, Soa.
It really feels like the Korean Folk Village is offering the perfect mix of history, culture, and summer fun and summer scare, of course. Thank you very much, Se-young, for that report. And now back here in the studio, it is time for K-Inter News with Walter Lee. Now, Walter, let's start off today by talking about the amazing turnout of the BTS concert in London. Concerts, I should say, right?
Yes, indeed. So BTS packed London's Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, one of London's biggest stadiums, with around 130,000 fans over 2 nights on July 6th and 7th as part of their, of course, Arirang World Tour that's currently going on. Now, according to concert promoter Live Nation, each show drew about 65,000 people, setting a new attendance record for the concert at the stadium since it opened back in 2019. Now, the London shows were especially meaningful, marking BTS's first UK concerts as a full group in 7 years since their groundbreaking Wembley Stadium performances back in 2019. Now, the British media were just as impressed as the fans. Now, both Rolling Stone UK and The Guardian gave the concerts perfect 5-star reviews, with Rolling Stone calling BTS, get this, the biggest band in the world. Now, you must remember, this is a huge praise from a country that has given rise to some of the biggest bands in the world before, like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and of course, Queen. But to put BTS in that bracket, what an achievement. Next up, BTS head to Munich, Germany, where they'll bring the Arirang Tour to Allianz Arena on July 11th and 12th.
Wow, incredible praise from the British media. Let's see what the German media will say later as well. Now, Walter, let's fly back to Korea and talk about what's been happening on Melon.
Yes, indeed. So, girl group IVE and sibling duo Akdong Musician have been the longest running #1 artists on Melon's weekly chart. Melon is South Korea's largest music subscription service. Now, it was during the first half of 2026. Now, according to Melon's first half report released through Data Lab on Thursday, I've spent a total of 6 weeks at #1 with Bang Bang, one of the double main tracks from the group's second full-length album, Revive. Akmu also topped the weekly chart for 6 weeks with Joy, Sorrow, A Beautiful Heart, and Paradise of Rumors, both from their fourth full-length album, Flowering. Now, on other Melon news, boy group Cortez was the only boy group, surprisingly, to reach #1 on the weekly chart during the first half of the year, with Red Red from their very popular mini album, Green Green. The current #1 song on Melon's weekly chart is Suddenly or 갑자기 by recently reunited girl group IOI. And girl group Racine also earned a #1 on Melon's Top 100 with Love Attack on Wednesday, a track that was actually released in August of 2024, the same year they debuted. A clip of the group's reaction to the achievement went viral over social media, showing all the members in tears. Melon also named them as the representative artists of the first half of this year.
Well, some of the results seem to be very obvious. Some of them are a big surprise.
Yes.
But last but not least, let's make a trip over to Japan for news about 17.
Yes, 17, always doing well in Japan. Boy group 17 have earned a million certification from the Recording Industry Association of Japan for their 11th mini album, 17th Heaven. Now, the achievement marks 17's third million certified release in Japan, as well as becoming the first K-pop album in history to sell more than 5 million copies in its first week. The third million certified release follows their first Japanese EP, Dream, and 10th mini album, FML. The release of Dream and FML also made the group the only K-pop artist to have 2 Korean release albums surpass 1 million shipments in Japan since 2000.
What an achievement. And thank you very much, Walter, for those updates, and stick around.
Will do.
It's time now for our AI anchor Arang to also update us on more on the culture front. Arang.
Thanks, Sua. Here's your AI guide to the latest cultural headlines from Korea. Let's begin with our top story. First Lady Kim Hae-kyung, accompanying President Lee Jae-myung on his state visit to Mongolia, toured the Genghis Khan National Museum with Mongolian First Lady Love Sandorj Bolor to check on Thursday. The museum, a symbol of Mongolia's history and national identity, houses more than 10,000 artifacts spanning from the Seongnu era to the 20th century. Kim said she was delighted to visit a site that represents Mongolia's history and culture. And Bolor Tiche responded she hopes that the visit would further strengthen friendship between the two countries. The museum has long cooperated with the National Museum of Korea, with Seoul supporting its exhibitions and educational programs through official development assistance. South Korea's Culture Ministry and the World Intellectual Property Organization have celebrated 20 years of copyright cooperation. During a commemorative event held at WIPO headquarters in Geneva on Wednesday, local time, the two sides reviewed the achievements of their 2-decade partnership and unveiled a shared vision for expanding future cooperation. First Vice Culture Minister Kim Young-soo delivered a speech laying out plans to increase Seoul's trust fund contribution by over 60%, saying the additional funding would strengthen WIPO's work and reinforce Korea's role in shaping global copyright standards. Korea has contributed a cumulative 14.6 billion won, or almost $9.7 million to the fund. The government has launched a new program to give young people international cultural exchange opportunities. Dubbed the Youth K-Culture Global Frontier Project, it will send 700 participants to 36 countries to lead cultural exchange projects or gain experience at overseas cultural organizations. Participants will collaborate with peers from around the world on projects in areas such as the performing arts, webtoons, and fashion, or train at institutions including the Korea Creative Content Agency, the King Sejong Institute Foundation, and the Korea Tourism Organization. The government says it hopes the initiative will help foster the next generation of K-culture leaders and support the industry's long-term global growth. That's all from me. Turning now to a quick look at more K-culture stories making headlines today.
The UNESCO World Heritage Committee session is set to take place in Busan starting next week, bringing global attention to Korea's rich cultural heritage. At the same time, Korea's UNESCO World Heritage sites are finding new ways to connect with audiences, not just through preservation, but through live performances. So today, we'll explore how history is being brought back to life on the stage with culture critic Professor Ji Ye-won from Kyunghee University. Hello, Professor Ji. Welcome back.
Professor.
Hello, good afternoon.
All right, so next week, in just a few days from now, the UNESCO World Heritage Committee session is set to begin in the southeastern city of Busan. So that's going to put the global spotlight on Korea's heritage sites. So what is, first and foremost, unique about Korea's UNESCO World Heritage sites?
Yeah, I think what makes the Korea's World Heritage sites so special is that they do not remain merely as a relic of the past. So, I mean, for instance, people still visit the historical sites such as palaces, 궁, Buddhist temples, 사찰, and the traditional academies, 사원, to experience them firsthand and keep their legacy alive. So it is truly compelling that the culture of the past is not frozen in time, but continues to breathe and thrive in the present day. So I also believe that the Korean heritage is characterized by seamless harmony with the nature, architecture, and human life. So those elements that are they are not separate but naturally intertwined. So it is not merely the grandeur of the scale or the technical brilliance that endures, but the passage of time, the way of life, and the communal values embedded within them.
From my biased point of view, I think deservedly Korea is home to a number of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. If not, there should be a lot more coming as well. These places include like Baekje historical areas in Gongju,
Right.
Tang Royal Tomb in Yeongwol, and that's one of the royal tombs of the Joseon dynasty, right? And could you actually briefly introduce these sites and explain their historical cultural significance?
Right. Although the two sites you just mentioned belong to different era and they possess distinctive atmospheres, but I believe they serve as the heritage sites that showcases the diverse facet of the Korean history. First of all, the Baekje historic area in Gongju demonstrate that Baekje was a nation with the open and cosmopolitan culture. At that time, Baekje actively engaged with China and Japan, so fostering outstanding architecture, art, and the Buddhist culture, and serves as a hub for the cultural exchange in Eastern Asia. On the other hand, the Changneung in Yeongwol is a royal tomb of Danjong, a young king of the Joseon dynasty. So if it has actually recently gained the greater renown through the movie The King's Word, 왕가 사는 남자. So if you visit Changneung, you can probably experience the depth of the history and emotional resonance that goes beyond the story told in the film. So I believe that these two sites beautifully showcase the appeal of the Korean cultural heritage.
All right, so let's now delve deeper into the performances connected to these sites. So first off, the musical The King Muryong. So this is based on the legacy of King Muryong and the Baekje Kingdom. So what makes this production unique? And also, how can live performances like these actually involve the audiences in, getting more connected with these cultural heritages?
Right. I believe the greatest appeal of the King Muryong lies in how it allows the audience members to personally experience the history rather than simply having it just explained to them. So King Muryong led the renaissance of the Baekje Kingdom. The production goes beyond merely telling the story on stage, and it connects the narrative to the very location where the performance takes place at the city of Gongju. So enhanced by innovative stage technologies such as a 360-degree rotating seating and the three-sided video mapping, the show offers the audiences an immersive experience, making them feel like they have stepped right into the heart of the Baekje's history. So I believe this approach could serve as an excellent model for the showcasing cultural heritage in the future, because in the end, people don't just remember the site or the history, but they remember the experiences.
Of course.
Right, and Changneung Royal Tomb in Yeongwol has become the stage of musicals inspired by the life of King Danjong, which obviously got brought more to life recently in cinema with, like, as you said, The King's Warden. Could you tell us about these productions?
Right, that's right. There are several creative works depicting the tragic life of King Danjong are being produced and performed setting against the backdrop of Yeongwol. So the original Korean musical 1457, The Boy at Rest, 소년 잠들다, is one of them, which tells the story of King Danjong and Queen Jongsun from the perspective of the Korean goblin, 도깨비. So this musical premiered in 2023 and continues to be performed domestically, and it has also been invited to the 2025 Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Another one is immersive site-specific musical 단종 1698. One of the most notable features of this musical is that the story of King Danjong and Queen Jeongsun's unfolds on an outdoor stage at the Changnyeong Royal Tomb. So since the historic location itself serves as the stage, so the natural environment and the heritage sites become the integral parts of the performance of the musical itself. So it is very interesting because these two productions, it focuses on different moments of King Danjong. So 1457 is about his tragic death, while the 1698 is about the restoration of his honor more than 240 years later. So together these musicals how they can deliver how history can be remembered from very different perspectives.
Right. And through these musicals, and of course, we constantly talked about Kingswood and when it was quite in its peak, places people in sort of like a historical moment, creating a different kind of, let's say, emotional connection. Like, it was amazing how well Kingswood did in the cinemas, and now the fact that all these musicals are coming out as well. Do you agree that this is a different connection or immersion for audiences?
Yeah, I do. I believe the depth of the emotional fact is truly different. But for instance, watching the story of King Danjong in just a theater, in a proscenium theater, is a completely different experience from the encountering the same story outdoor at Changnyeong, the very place where he is laid in the rest. So Danjong 1698 actually involves actors stepping down from the stage to interact closely with the audience members, and it makes the spectators feels less like a passive observers and more like the participants sharing a moment with the historical scene. So I mean, the space itself becomes a stage, so they're drawing the audience deeper into the narratives. So I believe experiencing and remembering history through the performances like this is one of the most effective ways to engage with the cultural heritage to the cultural contents.
Right. And Professor Ji, because people are now traveling to see these special performances, do you think that these productions could become a cultural brand or a tourist attraction in themselves?
Yeah, I believe it is entirely feasible that, in fact, I think the tourism industry needs to evolve by the integrate more closely with the cultural sector. So recent tourism trend have shifted from the simply visiting famous locations or landmark to placing greater importance on local experience unique to the specific area. From the perspective, I believe the greatest competitive advantage of the King Muryong or Danjong 1698 is that they can experience exclusively in Gongju or at Changnyeong in Yeongwol. So I think the tourists can feel more like in the locations.
Definitely.
And what makes me really proud to hear is actually that several of these productions are now being invited to perform overseas and have received a lot of international recognition. And that's extremely special to do, especially when it's something about history as well. Why do you think performances based on Korean history and cultural heritage resonates with the international audiences?
Right. I believe there is significant potential. The reason is the international audiences connect with the Korean performances is not necessarily because of the specific Korean history involved, but because they resonated with the emotions embedded within the story. So, for instance, as I mentioned, mentioned earlier, the Boy at Rest was well received at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and I believe this is because even though the story is set against the Korean historical backdrop, but it captured universal human emotions such as loss or healing. So in other words, people all over the world can relate it to fundamental emotions such as hope, love, or the courage and comfort, and etc. Yes.
Then is there maybe another cultural heritage site in Korea that you would like to see adapted into something like a musical?
Yeah, personally, I would love to see a performance set against the backdrop of Changdeok Palace, or the Suwon Hwasong Fortress, because while Changdeok Palace is beautiful itself, and it also holds the diverse stories of the kings or queens or the people of the royal court, of course. As for Suwon Hwasong Fortress, is the history surrounding King Jeongjo and Crown Princess 사도세자. So it's already widely known, so adapting it into a performance or musical theater would likely make it easier for the audience members to connect with the history and the story itself as well. So I hope more K-heritage performances evolve in a way that more effectively crafted unique stories that can more closely connect it to the actual locations.
Right. Thank you very much, Professor Z, for your insights, especially very timely with the UNESCO session coming up. And we wish you a great weekend.
Thank you, Professor.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Walter, as always. We're going to have you back here next week.
See you next week.
Thanks for watching and for your interest in everything K-Culture. K-Culture Dive will be back on Monday, 2 p.m. Korea time. Have a culture-filled weekend and keep diving.